Oh, what's up, familia? Welcome inside the pad. Hope you guys are doing good. Keep in between the lines. Got your load secure. All right, man. As you guys can see, what we're talking about today, felons going into trucking. I got a guest coming in here, man. I myself am a felon and got into trucking. I've told my story already, man. So I want to get a homeboy on here so he could tell his story because this guy is much more advanced in the trucking industry and is somebody that I really, contact, man, to get a lot of good lecha when it comes to trucking. And I'm amazed in this man's story. You guys go check him out on Vic Med, and his channel is strictly trucking, man. All trucking. What's up, Fume 209, Andres, Andrew, Derek, West Carson TV. Hey, so let's go ahead and let's get the homie on here, man. Shout outs to one, Mr. Vic Med. What's up, Vic?
What's going on? What's going on?
So you're kicking it in your office, am I right?
Correct.
In a nice comfy chair that you could just rock back and forth and
Yeah, I sit on this chair so much it's not so comfy anymore. But yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah.
And you don't even drive anymore, big dog. You just you got quite a few trucks that you dispatch. You only drive when you have to, am I right? I mean, we're gonna get to your story. I'm just trying to, I don't know, rub it in everybody's face, mine included. I'm just kind of hating right here for a minute, man. So let me do that.
Yeah. I drive once in a great blue moon. NDS, what's going on? NDS is another homie. Been following me for a while. Appreciate him. Yeah, I drive once in a great blue moon. When I overbook myself, or when I just want to sharpen up the skills, as far as driving trucks, because yeah, I can get rusty at times.
Mm, it's kind of like a bike, man. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Holmes. I get what you're saying, man. Vic, but
Yeah,
you know, um, you have your own business, man, your own company. You got your office, you dispatch different trucks and everything, man, and it is 100% your company, big dog. But what I don't think a lot of people know is your backstory. And some people might think like, "Wow, did he come from a trucking family, or how was this? Was it passed down to him?" And that's kind of what I want to get into right here, man. Is your story? Where'd you grow up, and the struggles that you went through, man, before you started getting into trucking and saw this door that you actually busted open for yourself, big dog. But with that, let's go ahead and get into it, home. So where did you grow up, man? Whereabouts?
I grew up in Los, Northeast LA, in a city
Mm,
called El Sereno. Uh,
mm,
that's where I grew up, bro. That's where I grew up. I stood around the area, Highland Park, a little bit of Eloyo Mara, but I stood within that facility, put it that way.
Sereno, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, man. And what we're talking about here, man, is obviously getting into trouble and still being able to do what you did, man. I remember when I caught my felony, I was 18 years old. I come out and my family was in the business, so at least they were able to give me a little bit of a helping hand. But I did not take full advantage of it, until now, just recently, where I'm like, man, you know what? I can really do so much more. But you yourself, you went ahead and you got yourself into a few wrecks, man. Got yourself into some trouble, man. Can you elaborate a little bit, man, and getting your felonies and all?
Yeah. I mean, just like everyone else, I did juvenile time, YA time, state time. Uh, I got into a lot of trouble. I gave the system close to 23, 24 years, something like that.
From
So,
juvenile to at combined everything.
yeah. My last stretch was, I believe it was about 7.5 years. So
Okay.
yeah, I've done my little issue of doing time. Do I regret it? No, I don't regret it. I mean, it's just part of life, you know. I went
Mhm.
with it, and but yeah, yeah, I've done some time.
All right. And I remember you and I talked about this. You went to East Lake Juvenile Hall, you know?
Come on, man. If you went to LP, man, you ain't gangster. If you went to LP, come on, man. You are
Hey,
not gangster.
all right. So there's that whole just to entertain that for a minute or two, man. That was always the throw around, man. There's East Lake and LP. And hey, Holmes, when I got busted as a juvenile, I was out in Bell Gardens, and they just ended up taking me to LP, Holmes. That hey, Holmes, I did my juvie time in LP, man. But it
Cholo,
was
every time you vatos came to go to court, I mean, we were taking your guys' sweatshirts, tennis shoes, and t-shirts because you vatos used to get the brand new stuff. We used to get the raggedy stuff. We used to, crease it down, trying to make it look good, but nah, you vatos used to get some brand new stuff. So
uh,
yeah, we couldn't wait to see you vatos come to court.
let me tell you something, Vic. Let me tell you something, man.
Uh,
Okay. I never really saw anybody in LP crease up their stuff. I was probably one of the only vatos, man, that was creasing up their clothes, man. I didn't really see anybody put much attention to their to their suit, man, trying to crease it up, putting it under the mattress and all that stuff, man, combing it down. But anyway, man, hey, was wasn't my choice, Holmes. Wasn't
yeah,
my choice.
yeah.
But so, all right, Vic. So as an adult, man, you're getting busted. We got California. We're both in California, man. I got a strike. You got two strikes.
Yeah.
You got two strikes, man. So you're on the verge, Vic, of possibly, man, getting struck out, big dog. After your first strike, let's start right there, man. After your first strike, you did a little stretch, you come out. Were you like, hey man, you know what? I gotta get it together. When did trucking come into your mind at all? Or were you just still kind of, hey, screw it, dog, it's just part of life?
Yeah, I had no thoughts of stopping what I was doing at the time. I love the lifestyle. I love the lifestyle. There was nothing else that I was attracted to, but the lifestyle.
Mhm.
Is how I ended up stopping. To this day, I can't even tell you what made me stop. Because it wasn't my kids. It wasn't my old lady. I just love the lifestyle. You know.
You
Uh,
already had kids?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I did my last stretch, and then from there, I was just like, uh, all right, it's time to just do something different.
Hmm.
And that's I just started getting work, through an agency. I didn't even know how to fill out an application. It was funny, because I went to an agency and I told the girl, hey, can you fill that out for me? And she looked at me all crazy and she was like, nah, you're supposed to fill it out. I think I had like $7 in my pocket. I pulled it out. I said, "Here you go, man. Fill it out for me." A typical institutional guy,
Yeah.
pay somebody to do it for you.
Uh-huh.
And so she was like, "If you have, I think she said $20 or something like that. I'll do it for you."
Mm.
So I was like, "This is all I got." So she ended up filling it out for me, and yeah, I that's the way I started. I started with an agency.
With an agency working warehouse?
No, no. I used to. They used to send me out to UCLA
Uh-huh.
to wash pots and pans.
Orale. Okay. Around what year is this?
Damn. I would say maybe 2005, 2006.
Okay. Okay. And this is after your first felon?
No, this was my
Oh,
last one.
this is after you. Okay. All
That's,
right. All
that
right.
was my last stretch.
Okay, okay, got you. You know what, Holmes? I completely understand what you're saying about, like, you know what, it wasn't your kids, it wasn't anything like that, because yeah, man, in all reality, man, there are some people that say things like, oh, you know what, having kids makes you more responsible. Nah, not really, man. It can maybe for some people, but yeah, man. Even me with kids, I still was doing things and fooling around, man. That could have really got myself in a pretty bad wreck. So it's one of those things. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I can't even really put my finger on it or really touch on it to say like, okay, it's this or it's that. Definitely wasn't kids. I will say I guess the only thing I will really say is that when I had kids, when I had my sons, um, it made me think a little bit more. Maybe I didn't take as many chances, but to say that I didn't take any chances in the streets or living a certain lifestyle or anything, no, I still was. I probably just thought about it a little bit more. That's probably about it. But outside of that, I don't know, man. I it's an addiction or something. But I get what you're saying, man.
I think for me, it having kids, having an old lady was just it was. I really didn't think about it. It just wasn't something that I want to take responsibility for. That I think that was my issue. I didn't want to take responsibility for anything, and
Mm,
having kids was just like a thing to do, and my focus was more on my neighborhood, and what can I do, and it wasn't even about money, I never taken care of
mm.
my kids, I never took care of my old lady. I've never done anything for them, but I just thought I was just little badass, but come to find out, nah, I wasn't. I was just,
How'd you get involved with all that, man? Was your family involved with it? Was it just the neighborhood, just around the streets that you hung out? I mean, how'd you get involved with it?
that's the thing. It's funny because back in the days they used to jump into the neighborhood. You remember that
Mm.
stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. From what I understand, that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I
Mm,
think they just put something in your hand and they say you're in. I guess I
mm,
don't know what they do nowadays, but anyways, they jumped me into the neighborhood twice, Cholo, because
mm,
that wasn't my thing at first. I was there. One of the homies was getting jumped, and I just jumped in, and after that they said, homeboy has to get into the neighborhood, and they suckered me into going into the park, and then all of a sudden they surrounded me and they said, you're gonna get jumped into the neighborhood, and I told them, nah, man, I don't want to be from the hood.
mm.
They put it to me. Uh, a week later, I came back to school, and my ribs were still hurting, and they were like, "Hey, where you from?" I ain't from nowhere. 3 days later, yeah, they got me again. So, it was. But no, my family's not from my neighborhood. I have none of my family members that are from my neighborhood.
Mm.
Uh, as we got older, everybody else got into different neighborhoods, but we are pretty much the ones that kicked it off. Or should I say, I'm the one that pretty much kicked it off for everybody. And then everybody just followed suit, as far as being in the neighborhood, started getting busted, and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. What year was this in, Vic? When you got jumped in?
And it was in the 80s, homies. I
Okay.
can't tell you the exact year, but yeah, it was in the 80s. I think I was 12 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. So now, going back to what we're talking about, fast forward, you get out from doing your second stretch, man. This is in the mid 2000s, 2005, 2004 ish.
I believe something like that.
Okay. So you get out, you get into an agency. Um, were you in your mind, Holmes? Were you like, hey, you know what, man? I ain't going back. I'm gonna do something, or were you just washing pots and pans and just saying like, hey, whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was doing. I was just riding the wave, you know.
Mm,
I wasn't telling myself I wasn't gonna go back. I wasn't saying that. But, you know, I was just thinking, let me try something new, you know. I wasn't trying it for my kids. I wasn't trying it for my old lady or anything.
yeah.
I just, you know, I just want to see something new, you know. I just said, let me see what happens, you know.
Mm,
Uh, so yeah, you know, I worked for the agency for I think a month or so, and then my PO tried to come, and this is the first time I've ever reported to the POs because I would never report to the POs. Every time I would get out, even from YA, I wouldn't report.
mm.
So I was running from the gate. You know, to me, reporting to the PO, you're a poop butt if you're reporting to POs. You know, that was my eyes. You know, that's the way I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the PO came and snatched me up, and it was a female, and she said, you know, what are you doing? You know, you haven't reported and this and that. And I said, I never reported. You know, what do you want?
Mm.
What are you doing? And you know, she caught me at UCLA, you know, washing pans, and I had a plastic apron on. I go, what does it look like I'm doing? Why you're supposed to report and this and that? Like, yeah, yeah, sure, I will. And she bounced. Uh, Maybe about a week, 2 weeks later, she came over to UCLA again to see if I was, you know, still working. And you know, she said, you know what, we need to talk. You need to come into my office. I said, I'm not going into no office. You know, I'm keep doing what I'm doing. You like it, you don't, do what you got to do. So she waited for me after work, and I would get off at what 8:30 at night, and she waited for me. And she's like, you know, jump in my car. We need to go to the office and talk. So she took me to her office, and she just told me, you know, we can help you out. You know, we can open some doors for you and this and that. You know, it's a PO. Nobody gives a hoot about POs. You know, they want what they want. You know,
Mm.
it's not what they want to give you. That's the way I've always looked at it. You know, nobody wants to give you something. It's always what they're going to gain from it. So I'm like, yeah, yeah, whatever, sure. And then one day she just popped up and she says, what do you want to do in life? And I told her, you know, I don't know, be a truck driver. And that's what I've always been. I've always wanted to be a truck driver. You know, I used to go crazy over them big rigs back when I was a kid. But I
Mm.
just threw it out there. I wasn't. Uh, I was serious, but I didn't think nothing was gonna come of it. You know. And that's what she told me. She's like, "Look, we can get you your license. We can send you to school. Wah wah wah." And I was like, "Well, let's see what you can do." And yeah, sure. They hooked me up.
Why why trucking? Did you watch the movie Convoy or Over the Top or what, why trucking? Huh? Why did you see trucks and say like, you know what, that's something I want to do?
Well, because when I was a kid, Cholo, I mean, that's when real truckers were out there, homies. You
Yeah,
know, that's
yeah,
when them vatos were out there hooking up them trucks, you know, and they would drive by you, and the little kids would go like this.
yeah,
And I mean, them were horns, homies, not these poop butt horns that they have nowadays, you know.
yeah.
I mean, so that was my thing, homies. You know, they had their stuff all chromed out, lights everywhere on trailer and truck, you know. So me as a kid, that was every time I would see a truck, you know, I'd go like that, and them dudes would, I mean, they'll step on it, you know. So yeah, that's why trucking was my thing.
Oh man, you know what? You're not lying, homie. Trucks back then were just they were true machines of beauty, man. They really were, Holmes. Today they're kind of just turned into like big cars. Where back then, oh man, I mean trucks were trucks. They were badass, man. And now, you know, when you go like this, For those who don't know, a lot of the horns are actually right here on the steering wheel, like a car now. So when little kids are all like, "Hey, go like that," and you're like kind of like, ah, that's
Yeah.
that's trucks today, man. It's unfortunate. It really is, man. It's bringing in a whole new type of people into trucking, and it has been for quite a few years. It's changed the culture and the atmosphere of what trucking actually used to be. You know,
Truckers,
I don't want to get all into that, man, because I'm gonna start ranting.
yeah,
But
truckers had pride back in that day. Back in
right,
them days, they had pride of their ride, their trailer. They had pride. I mean, that was like another lowrider out there on the freeway, but just it was an 18 wheeler. Everybody hooked up their stuff, and they have pride in their stuff.
mm, yeah. NDS 23 putting me out there, man. No, it's only Volvos. Mostly manual back then. All manual back then. All manual. I don't know when the first automatic came around. The first time I ever laid eyes on an automatic, which is not the automatics I see today.
Yeah.
Today, you just kind of put it in drive and just go. But the first automatic I saw, you didn't do that. You actually still had to push a button and like move it forward or backwards. And that was in 2007, 8-ish. It was an automatic, but like I said, you still had to move the shift a little forward, a little backwards to somewhat kind of change a gear or two. I don't know. I didn't really mess with it now. But today, yeah, you just kind of put it there and drive. But no, back then, all of them were manual. All of them were badass manuals, man. Especially the ones that had two shifters before you even hit the airline. So anyway, man, let's get back into it. I'm gonna start ranting, Holmes, and I don't want to do that. All right, Vic. So this agency helped you get into what trucking school? What did they help you with?
No, it's a parole officer, bro.
Oh, the parole. My bad. Okay, so
Parole officer.
they
Parole
helped you do
officers.
what?
They sent me to a trucking school. They sent
Okay.
me to a trucking school to get my license and everything. And yeah, I got the license for free. After that, the trucking school itself, they had connections to companies that were hiring fresh people out.
Okay.
So not fresh people out, people with a fresh license and felons.
Mm,
Uh, which to this day, I still stay in touch with some of them. They're called Northern Refrigerated and Poppy State. It's two companies in one. Uh, and so the trucking company sent me over there. I called them up, and right away they were like, "Yeah, sure, come and do an application." And yeah, you know, so trucking schools don't teach you how to drive. They just teach you how to pass the DMV test. So I went over to them. They signed me up. They put me in with a trainer, which till this day I still remember that dude. He was an old Italian dude from the East Coast,
mm,
and I met him at 2 o'clock in the morning in City of Commerce because that's where one of their terminals was at. And he pulled me to the side and he said, "Check this out, young blood. Every other word that comes out of my mouth is gonna be a mother effer, a son of a biscuit." He goes, "I'm gonna just be dropping bombs like that. Don't take it to the neck. If you don't have it for this, you shouldn't jump in the truck with me."
mm,
And I so much wanted it, I just wasn't giving a hoot. And I was like, you know what, let's roll, let's roll. Don't worry about it. He goes, "Look, man, I'm gonna call you this, I'm gonna call you that, but just don't take it to the neck because that's just the way I speak."
mm,
And I said, "All right, cool, whatever." So I put my stuff in his truck, and first load we did, we went up to Oregon. Now, keep this in mind, Cholo, right? The parole office has hooked all this up for me to get my license and everything, right?
Mhm.
And I told my parole officer, hey, check this out. I filed my application with this company. I'm good to go. Parole officer didn't say yay, nay, didn't say nothing. So I jump in the truck. We go to Oregon. On our way back, they stop us at the state line
Mhm.
and they said, bring in your paperwork. So, of course, my trainer's going to tell me, come with me so you can see, what the process is all about and this and that. And I was like, all right, cool. So I jump out of the truck. He comes out with the bills and everything. DOT says, let me get your license. Let me get your license. They arrest me, Cholo, for absconding, homies. And I was like, what the, right? So I'm up in Shasta, Shasta. I remember
Okay.
that.
Okay.
They sent me to the county jail to Shasta, and I was like, oh no, this is peanut butter now.
Mhm.
So I'm there, we all know what's gonna happen, as soon as I get there. So I'm there for 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and then parole office, they have a parole hearing on me, and the whole board is huffing and puffing. They're like, what the heck? This guy's been in prison for 20 something years. He's trying to get his life together, and we are arresting him for absconding. All the board members are on the same cue. They're in
Mhm.
sync with everything. And so, you know, one of the dudes says, we apologize, but this is wrong. We got a hold of your parole office. You will be released in 24 hours. And I'm pissed off. I'm like, yeah, that's fine and dandy, dude, but damn, I had a job. You just took
Right.
the job away. This ain't gonna happen no more. Now I'm
Right.
I'm screwed. Now I got to come back to this lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I paroled. I mean, I paroled. They let me go. They let me go the following day. They gave me a bus pass all the way to was it Bakersfield? Bakersfield. And then from Bakersfield, I called one of the homies and I told him come pick me up. And
Wait, from Shasta to Bakersfield, a bus ride?
yeah, yeah, they gave me a. They didn't. They
Okay.
didn't. They didn't give me the full 200 because I was only there. I believe it was like 2 weeks almost.
Okay.
And that's all. That's all I could afford. Just up to Bakersfield, my bus fare. So as mom was bringing me back, I'm thinking, damn, do I still got a Harley or what the hell?
Yeah.
So I ended up calling Northern Refrigerated, and one of the dispatchers answered the phone, and they said, "Hey, Victor, check this out, man. Come pick up your stuff. We got your stuff right here. Where you at?" And I told them, "Well, I'm right here in Bakersfield." And they said, "Don't move. Stay right there. We got a truck that's gonna go by right now. He's gonna pick you up. You're gonna come to our main terminal in Turlock, and you're gonna pick up your stuff." And I told him, "No, no, no, no. You can keep my stuff. It's
Mhm.
just I'm calling to see, if I still have a job with you."
Right. Right.
And the dispatcher says, "Get in the truck, Victor. Just get in the damn truck. Get in the truck. Get your ass over here to Turlock."
Mhm.
So I told my homeboy, I said, "You know what? I'm gonna get in this truck." What says, "All right, well, I'll wait for you right here." Sure enough, the truck pulls up, takes me to the terminal. The owner, the VP, the CEO, and two other drivers were there. And they gave me this big old speech about, ex-felons, law's not working for anybody. And they were like, you still got a job if you still want. So
Wow.
yeah, I stood there. Northern Refrigerated was my first open door to trucking.
Okay. Okay. Wow, man. And you stood there for how long?
I stood there for, I want to say, 7 months.
Wow. Not even that long. And that was your first experience in trucking?
Yeah.
Okay. And from 7 months, what happened?
Um, you know, even though you're trying to stay off the streets, the streets kind of find you.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
some dude pulled up and we just got into it and they just gave me the boot. One thing I advise everybody to do, leave that crap on the streets. You need to take care of something, take care of it on the street. Don't take care of it on the job site.
Mm, mm,
And, homeboy decided to try to get chesty,
right.
on the property, and I was trying to do the right thing, let's take it into the town, but
Yeah.
he really he wanted to do his thing right there and then, so that's what got me kicked out.
Oh man, you sound like Chuco, man, when he's over there at work, dog. Where it's like, hey, where'd you get that plaquiazo at? None of your business. That's it. It wasn't my fault. Hey, so all right, man. So you only got 7 months of trucking experience, Holmes, and you're a two-time felon. Where do you go from there?
agency agency. So what I ended up doing is I ended up calling the trucking school. And so I told the trucking school what took place, and my instructor told me, you know what, Victor, go to this agency, which was called Quality Logistics, I believe, or Quality Driver, something like that. So I called him up and I lied to him because they were requiring a year experience, and I just lied to him. I just told him, yeah, I've been driving for a year. Now keep in mind, I've been driving over the road. I've never done no local work, and it's a
Mm,
whole different ball game. You and I both know doing local work than OTR.
right.
So I just lied to them, and they just started sending me to jobs, and I just started doing them.
Okay. Okay. And I mean, were you doing all right at that time, man? You had less than a year experience, Holmes, to be doing local work, especially in the city and all. Were you doing okay? Were you
I was,
messing up here and there?
yeah, I was driving like I was tweaked out, Cholo, and I still what did I do? I tore down a reefer door off a trailer.
Oh.
Uh, I backed into what was it, 3 4 cars. The
Uh-huh.
good thing, it was a private property.
Okay.
They sent me to do parts for Nissan,
Uh-huh.
and I had to back up and go into this dock, and the dock had a wall on it,
Mm.
but there was cars parked on the side, so I think I just swung a little too far out,
Mm-hmm.
and I just hit all 3 cars. So yeah, I was doing a few mistakes. What else did I do? I remember I was on what was it, 55, 57, or something like that, down there in Orange County. And
Mm.
there's an entrance that goes like this, like a shoe horse.
Okay.
And as I'm going onto it, I never looked back. And there was this lady that just pulled up in the side of the trailer. And as I'm going around, I just took her with me. Go over there with grandma. Go over there with grandma. And I took that car with me. So yeah,
Oh,
I was
man.
still, yeah, I did some mistakes. I did some mistakes, but I learned from them. But the
Yeah.
good thing about an agency, and I give the agencies a lot of credit, even though you're going in the agency as a class A, they
Mm.
put you to do everything. I mean,
Yes.
class C, bobtail, flatbed, step decks, tankers. I mean, that's what I liked about the agency. And I learned a lot from the agency because they sent me out to some weird jobs. And sometimes I would tell them, hey, I don't drive that vehicle. And
Mm-hmm.
they would tell me, just swing it, man, swing it. Go ahead, handle it. All right. So I would. But agencies, yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and echo what you're saying, man, because I also drove for a trucking agency. For those who don't know, agencies, there are truck driving agencies, just like any other agency. You just
Yep.
go sign up for a trucking agency. and it's there, man. They'll just go ahead and send you anywhere. They don't ask, man. Well, at least they never asked me of like, hey, do you have experience with this? Do you have experience trucking with that? Do you have experience hauling this or pulling this type of trailer? They never asked me any of that stuff. They just said, hey, we got a job for you. Okay, it starts at 4 o'clock in the morning. Be there. It's like, okay. They never told me this is what you're going to be pulling. They never said, hey, it's flatbed, it's dry van, it's tart line. They never said anything. You just show up. You show up, and it's like, okay, hey man, this is what you're pulling. We need you to do this. Go here, go there, man. Here's the paperwork, and boom. Did I like it, man? Hell no.
Go over there with grandma. Go over there with grandma.
Heck no, man. I did not like it at all. But was it useful? Did it come in and help me out later on in life? Yes. Yes, it did. So, I mean, so there's that, man. So, how long were you with the agency, Vic?
I think I stuck it out with the agency for about maybe a year and a half, if
Mm,
not more. Uh, I like the agency because my thing was not bumping docks. I I would do it, but I did not like bumping docks. My thing was offload and load. And that agency I was working with, they had this one contract with mattresses, and that was my thing. I used to love offloading and loading, so everything that they had as far as loading and offloading, they would send me to, and that's why I stuck it out so long with the agency because I had to offload and load. If not, I just wasn't interested in trucking. But yeah, I stuck it out for about a year and a half, if not a little bit more.
okay. Okay. So, now let's get to the part, Holmes, where you're starting to think like, you know what, man, I think I could probably start a business. I think I could probably start doing this on my own, man. Where and when did that come up? How did that come up to your mind?
Well, I think I find after all this time, going through what I was going through, I finally matured a little bit, if you want to say that.
Mm,
I got with my old lady, and I put some responsibility under my belt. And my thing was to get my family out of LA, and because to me, in my eyes, LA was the worst place that you can live in. So I was like, I need to get the fam bam out of there. So I ended up moving them over to Ontario,
mm,
and didn't have a job, nothing, homies. I had the agency that I was working with. That's it. But at the time when I decided to move them, it wasn't a consistent thing where they were calling me every day to go to jobs.
right.
So my thing was now, okay, I need to go look for a job. So me and my wife, we jumped in the ride and we just went around looking, and we ended up finding a place. After putting in so many applications, we ended up finding a place called QNS, turned into Comtrack, and then it turned into a Hub Group. Well, I went in there. They said, "Look, we have leased on trucks." I didn't know nothing about leased on trucks. I wasn't interested in leasing on or getting a leased on truck. That wasn't my thing. My thing was just to get a job.
Okay.
So the lady tells us, "Well, we have this owner operator that's looking for a driver." So I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. I just want to work." So they put me in a Peterbilt. Was it a Peterbilt? No, I think it was a Freightliner. Don't
Mm,
quote me on it, but yeah, it was an older truck. It was a '08, '09 truck.
okay.
And I worked the truck for about 2 weeks, but the lady kept in my ear. She kept calling me every other day. Look, Victor, we got this lease program and this and that. And so one day I went home, chopped it up with the wife, and the wife says, "Well, maybe it might be a good idea." Now keep in mind, I know nothing about being a mechanic, don't know anything about an engine or anything like that, and wasn't even thinking about it, you know?
Mm,
And so one day I just walked into the office and I told the lady, you know what? Yeah, let me get a lease truck. She was all pumped and she's like, all right, go to Velocity right there in Fontana, look at a truck, telling people what truck you like, make sure you take the truck for a ride, and that's pretty much the way I started. Uh, I leased that truck on. It was a 2006 Freightliner. I kept that truck for about maybe a year. Yeah, maybe a year.
mhm.
Because she called me up and she was like, "Look, Victor, it's cheaper right now to update your truck. Go update your truck." And there was close to 200 of us in that company, and the majority of them were leased on. So I said, "Yeah, screw it. I'll go get me another truck." So I went and got a 2008 Freightliner Cascadia, and
Now,
we
now, real quick, man. When you say you went and got it, explain that, man. You had feria saved up. I mean, what do you mean you went and got it?
so when they were doing these leases, you didn't have to put no money down. What
Mm,
it was is the dealer was taking the word of the company
mm,
that they were going to give us enough work to pay the truck on a monthly
mm,
basis.
mm,
So they just took the company's word that everything was going to be okay, that they were going to get their money at the end of the month. And there was no credit check on us, there was no money down. It was pretty much a free truck. You just had to pay the monthly payments,
right. Okay.
which was a
Okay.
sweet it was a sweet deal for
Yeah.
anybody. It was a sweet deal. And the company they had work. The only bad thing about it is that they did nothing but rail work. I don't know if you ever done rail work, but rail work is the
Uh,
cheapest work that you can do as far as trucking. They pay you dirt cheap, but we thought we were making millions.
so now you got two trucks, Vic. Is this one? You got one truck. Okay. So you got one truck leased, and now where do you go from there? How do you go from there to where you're at today? Where was the process of you saying like, man, let me start a little bit of rinse and repeat, man, where I could get to where I'm at now?
Well, the same company was. I went in there and I talked to the manager and I asked her. I said, "Can we get another truck?" And she says, "Yeah, you can get another truck. You just got to find a driver." So at that time, that's when this AB5BS started coming into effect. A lot of companies started getting sued and all this other stuff. So we ended up getting another truck through the same company. At the time, the company was called. It wasn't QNS no more. I believe they had just turned into Hub Group because they went three names. They had three names: QNS, Comtrack, and then Hub Group. At the
Mhm.
end, it was Hub Group. So they started getting into this lawsuit. So now we have two trucks. So the rumor is, Hub Group is going to shut down, this and that. FedEx, already paid out all kinds of money and this and that. So the rumor was going around, right? The lawyers were coming around, the union was coming around the company, trying to unionize
Mhm.
everybody and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
we're like,
Sure.
damn,
Yeah.
stuff is going to hit the fan. What the hell are we going to do? So, yeah, sure enough, Hub Group threw a big old meeting without even notifying anybody. They just told everybody there's no work. We need everybody to come to the company. They had the big old yard right off of Milliken.
Okay.
Milliken in the 15. It was a big old humongous yard. So we all showed up. It was like 300 of us. And they had a stack of checks and they said, you take your check or you stay with this lawsuit. You know, everybody just wants the checks.
Mhm.
So I took a check, but they told me like this. from now on, you will be a company driver.
Mm.
So I'm like, what? Wait a minute. These are my trucks. Now I have two trucks. And I'm like,
Right.
wait a minute. I got two trucks. How am I going to be a company driver? And they said, look, anything goes wrong with your trucks, we are going to take care of it. We are going to fix it, but you guys are going to be company drivers. So I said, you know what? Let me give it a test. Let me see what comes out of this. So first thing I did, I took advantage of it, right? So
Mm.
I sent my 2008 to the mechanic. They put a brand new turbo on it. They did the injectors. I mean, they put some money into that truck. Brand new
Mm.
tires all the way around. And my other truck, I would send it off and on. I would tell the driver, complain about this, complain about that. And so after a month, I said, you know what? This is not working for me because I was seeing the checks.
Mm.
Now I'm getting a check for one truck, but the other truck, I'm not getting no check. They're paying the note on the truck, but it's a company truck now.
Oh, okay.
So I went in there and I spoke to the lady and I told her, look, this is not working for me. She goes, you know what? Don't be dumb. Leave that other truck, take your truck and yourself somewhere else, do what you got to do. Once you get stabled over there, you can pull this truck out. So I said, oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, sure. I'll do
Mm.
that. So I go to this other company. It was called TTSI. And yeah, I'm doing great. I'm leased onto them. I got this other truck over here at Hub Group, and I'm doing great with TTSI. And then finally I say, you know what? I think it's time to bring that other truck over here. I spoke to the dispatchers. The dispatchers are like, yeah, bring that other truck, Victor, bring it. I said, okay. So I bring that other truck, put a driver in there. We're doing good. A month after I bring that driver, I mean the other truck from Hub Group over TTSI. Uh, I don't know. We're thinking that driver was on something because he totaled my truck. After
Dang.
after 710, he's coming off the 710, and all of a sudden he's going east on the
Yeah.
60.
Mm.
The hood of his truck is on the west side of the 60 freeway. So he went over the K rails. He didn't bump them out. He went over them,
Yeah.
and then the trailer smashed a car. Good thing, he didn't kill the lady or anything. She walked out like nothing. But yeah, that's that was another thing that we had to go through. So we're leased onto TTSI now with one truck.
Mm.
Uh, the lawsuit catches up to TTSI as well.
Okay.
So the government is trying to shut all these businesses down that are leasing trucks
Yeah.
onto their authority.
Right. Right.
So TTSA, they get us in the office and they say, look, this lawsuit is coming on. Look, we are going to give you guys $2,700.
By the
Sign.
way, this is just in California, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they say, sign this paper or take this check.
Mm.
You take the check, you're not going to sue us. You don't take the check, you're in their lawsuit. I said, man, give me the check. I
Mm.
signed it. And the owner tells me, Victor, you know what? You've been through this twice already. Stop doing this. Go get your own authority. And so, I was like, I chopped it up with the wife. The wife says, well, maybe we should. Yeah, it was a little scary, a
Mm.
lot scary. But, I said, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. So we ended up getting our own authority with that $2,700, and we've never looked back.
Okay. Okay. And that was with one truck?
That was with one truck, bro.
Wow. And how many trucks do you have today?
Not enough. I tell you what, I got an automatic. That's what I got, Cholo.
I saw it. I saw it firsthand. I saw you. You showed it to me, man. I saw it firsthand.
But
So
yeah, I mean, that's what it took for us to finally say, you know what, enough with this BS. Them two lawsuits, this AB5 crap, where
mhm,
we just say, you know what, we need to get our own authority and just, just do our own thing because this is going to keep happening because it was happening everywhere in California.
right,
And it was real easy to have your truck and get leased onto a company. It was real sweet. It was good, man. And you know, these these politicians, they shut that down, and it made it real hard for truckers to keep trucking the way they were trucking.
in the state of California,
In the state of
in the
California.
state of California.
NDS, you are tripping, homies. I'm still trying it.
Oh, West Carson TV, you're not trucking anymore? Orale, man. I thought you were still out there trucking it up, man. I know he went through the CR England program. I chopped it up with them. Wow. Okay. Okay, man. But now today you got a fleet of trucks and you even got a few trailers of your own, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And man, and how's business for you today, big dog?
Business is good, Cholo. Business is good. I mean, now I'm immune to, what business is about. You have your ups, you have your downs. This year we've had, a real decline for a long, long time, but it comes with the business. You just got to roll with the punches. So it's to me, this is just something else that we have to get through. We've come this far. There's no way that we're just gonna give up just because the economy is trash or freight is
Right.
not there.
Vic, from when you got your license, when the PO, when they helped you get your license to where you're at now, carnal, how much time we talking about roughly?
Uh, I would say probably a year.
Uh, no, no, no. From when you first got your CDL
Huh?
to where you're at today.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Yeah, I got my certificate up there too, Cholo. I can't see that far, but yeah. Yeah, it's been a while, homies. It's been a while. It's been a good while, homies. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
22, 20 something years in the system, gave 20 something years to the system. And then we've been in business for, well, I've been trucking. I've had the lease on,
Mhm.
man, I mean, I want to say 17 years, 12 years, something like that.
Okay. That you've been in business.
No, 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 no. That I've got my first leased on truck,
Gotcha.
but my own business, no, no. But my leased on truck, I had that leased on truck. I had that contract for, I say, 7 years.
Okay. Got you, man. Got you. Dang, Vic. Quite a story, homie. When I hear your story, there's only two things I can do. I can either be inspired or I could just hate on you, Holmes, and it depends what the weather's like outside of what I'm gonna do, Holmes. Sometimes I'll just badmouth you, dog, but then with you not listening or anything, be like, damn it, that Vic, homie. He spent over 20 something years in the system, dog. Two felons, and now he's over there in his office just dispatching his trucks, having people
No,
make money for him.
no, but what trips me out though, Cholo, is I hear people they just they ride on that. I have a foul and it's hard for me to get a
Mm,
holly and this and that.
yeah, yes.
To me, it's a bunch of BS, homies. Because, like I said, I started washing pots and pans at UCLA at the college, homies.
Uh,
Didn't give a hoot. I just wanted to give it a shot. I just wanted something different. It wasn't that I wanted to change my life or anything. I just want to see something different.
mm,
I love what I was doing before.
right.
Doing time was the thing to do for me. Committing crime was the thing to do for me. It wasn't a big deal. My thing was just let me see something different. So I
Mm,
just trip out on people that say stuff like that. My Fallon, I can't get a holiday. Man, if I got a Harley freaking washing pots and pans at a UCLA college, and you should have seen these pots, Cholo, not to
Mm.
brag or anything, homies, but they were like from the floor to the roof. That's how many pots and pans I would have to wash, homies. And I would kill it, homies. I would kill
Yeah.
it. I was badass, but it's a Harley, But yet these people are saying, I can't get one, I can't get one. Man, shut your. You can get one if you want one.
I used to use that excuse when I first got out. When I first got out,
Yeah.
I was just like, man, ain't nobody trying to hire me, man. I'm a felon. I'm still kicking with homies and everything. Man, ain't nobody trying to hire me. And yeah, my family was in the trucking business, so they gave me a little bit of a leg up. I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do it. I was just like, nah, Charlie, man, I ain't gonna become a trucker. Like, what the heck? But I jumped in that 1981 two-stroke international cab over, no AC, no power steering, no anything, man. And I made it work, Holmes. I made it work. And damn it, just wanted to go ahead and share your story, big dog. I know you have your trucking channel. You guys go check out Vic Med. Your channel is purely trucking, 100% trucking, but I'm not sure if people really know your story, man. That's why I wanted you to come on here and share. I've shared my story, but I wanted you to come on here and share your story, man, on how you got from doing 20 something years that you gave to the system to sitting in that relaxing chair, dispatching trucks, man, having people make feria for you, man. See, I just sound like a hater now, so.
Shucks.
Vic, big dog on the Serio homes, on the Serio, man. Meeting you, kicking with you, talking to you, and everything, homie. You've definitely inspired me, and it's really kind of put a boot to my ass, homie, and saying like, hey, what are you doing, homes? Get it, start making some movidas, man. So Vic, gracias, man. I don't even know if you know that you do it, big dog, but you do, Holmes, so I highly appreciate that, man. I highly appreciate you coming on here and telling your story, man. Before we wrap it up, big dog, any last words to anybody that's got a few felonies, anybody who's thinking about trucking, whether they're a felon, whether not they're not a felon, people that hear all these bad stories of like, oh man, get out of trucking. Trucking's not the place to be right now. I hear like roller coaster stories, Holmes. I hear some people say like, hey, right now is actually a good time. Then I hear, hey, get out of it. Don't even think about it. Then you hear felons. It's like, man, where can I go, man, to get somewhere, like any last words, big dog?
If you're a felon, don't use that as an excuse. You can get a Holly wherever you want. Excuses are like anything. And everybody's got one, but they're not valid. As far as not wanting to get into trucking right now, to each his own. I'm not gonna tell anybody, get into trucking, get into trucking. You got to taste it for yourself. Trucking it's nice. It is nice, but it's like everything else. It's gonna have its humps and bumps. You got to deal with it. It's just life. If you go get a warehouse job, you're gonna have your times when you're gonna come in. They're gonna say, "Got no holiday for you. Go home." We'll see you in next day or whatever. But trucking is not just a job, guys. Trucking is a lifestyle. And you will realize that once you get into a truck. Once you start looking at your dashboard and your rims and you start cleaning that sucker, guess what? You're getting addicted to that truck. And next thing you know, you're getting addicted to the lifestyle. But trucking, it's a beautiful thing, man. It is a beautiful thing. Don't let anybody tell you different. If you are one of them guys that just wants to do a 9 to 5, then maybe trucking is not for you. Or maybe trucking is for you, but you just want to be a company driver, which is still cool. But uh, the way I've always seen it, I want to be my own boss. I want to predict how much money I make. I want to predict when I go to work, when I don't go to work. And I've always had that mentality that I want to contradict me. I don't want somebody to tell me what to do, even though I had 20 something years of people telling me what to do. But when I finally realized, okay, I'm gonna stay out. I'm gonna do my thing now. I've been on that mentality. I want to be my own boss. So, and I appreciate you, Cholo, for letting me come on and tell my story. I've never told my story before because I just didn't find it interesting. I think you can go into somebody else's channel and find, this big old blown up story, of what they've done in the past. So that's why I've never put my story out there because I've never thought it was interesting, But I appreciate you wanting me to talk about this. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Don't listen to negative stuff. You want the truck, get in the truck, man. Handle it.
Yeah, for dang sure. You guys, hey man, his channel is strictly trucking. I saw a lot of questions on here about trucking. The Spencer man, it was just about Vic's story, but you guys could go. Vic does Q&As every now and then. I will leave the link pinned in the comment section, so it'll be the first comment you guys see. Go check out his channel for all the trucking questions you guys had, and he'll be sure to answer them, man. He is like the guru of trucking, so you guys go check him out. That is one Mr. Vic Med. Gracias to everybody, man. As always, live your life like you're on the road. Be aware of your surroundings and always keep a safe distance. Blood makes you live, but loyalty makes you family. Till next time, this is Thecholotrucker from my man, one Mr. Vic Med. Over and out.